nice and excited.
Shoot my brains out over here.
Jeez. Well,
It's okay. It's okay. Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. That's why we like you. It's been, you know what, we're gonna do an episode today from a smaller growing distillery / company called Bespoken Spirits. But before we talk about the whiskey, before we talk about anything, let's talk about a way you can support us. And that is by going to Apple Apple Podcasts and leaving us a review. And I'll explain why later. This would mean a lot to us. But that's one way you can support us. If you've been listening for a while and you really feel like, man, I'm connected with these guys, I feel like I'm in the same room as them, maybe that's an opportunity for you to get on Apple Podcasts, whether you have an iPhone or an Apple device. I can do it through my iMac computer. But Robby's surprised that I have something Apple. But yeah, you can leave us a review and tell us how you feel. And that's the business. Here is the podcast. Robby, how's it going?
Well, I can say, so this is different. We are recording on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3:30 Mountain Standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell, Cole, you've got Friday energy done with the week.
I kind of do, but I've been done with the week from earlier in the week. And I'll just say it right now. I've felt rough this week. And there's
no more good questions.
What's that?
Did someone tell you your questions were no good?
Oh yeah, they were like,
because last week you're like,
not
I got
great
good questions.
yeah. No, so okay, here's how it went. I randomly was on the Apple Podcast reviews for Chill Filtered, and it was like 6 months ago, but we got a bad review.
Oh, we did. I haven't even seen it. Steve?
Yeah, no, it was totally Steve. And but like, here's what happened, and here's how I see it. At first, I was like really hurt by it, and it basically said something along the lines of inaccurate. And and basically someone who doesn't like it was obvious that they don't like digressions. But the real thing that really hurt me was like
they don't like us.
Yeah, they're not. We're not their podcast, and it stinks for them. And I'm sorry, but what hurt me the most was saying we were inaccurate. And I actually thought about it for a while, and it still like hurt nonetheless. But I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Earlier episodes were somewhat inaccurate, and I was doing my best to do the history. But I do realize looking back that there were some things I just made assumptions on. For example, I believe one thing that I said on the podcast, and I might be wrong that I ever said on the podcast, but one thing I used to believe was that there were, there's talk of three basic types of, I read one place that there were like three basic types of mash bills for bourbon. There is a traditional, there is a high rye, and there is a wheated. And so what I considered at the time was a traditional was a mixture of, I basically forgot about malted barley, and said that a wheated bourbon has more wheat than rye. Not the case. I mean, it is the case, but like wheated bourbons typically don't have rye at all. Like it's wheat, rye, and corn, and not in that order. And stuff like that, like where I realized like I probably assumed things wrong, and I like get that, and like I like to be very accurate with what I say, and I like to even preface things with, I don't know the answer to this one, but here's what I believe it is. But back in that day, like in the earlier episodes, probably like episodes 1 through 20 or so, I was running off the knowledge I had from writing a blog, as well as writing or working at that bar in downtown Richmond. And certain things I do look back and I'm like, ooh, I didn't see that, and I should have corrected that one. And that's the hard thing, is that some people, when they join or listen to a podcast, they start from episode one thinking it's like a season thing of like, or like even just like, yeah, I'm just gonna pick it up from the beginning, and I don't think that's what you want to do anymore. With at least Chill Filtered, I would say pick up right around episode 81. It's a great part of our transition at Chill Filtered. But if you want to pick up, a little earlier than that, just know that there are some inaccuracies. That being said, I kind of just was hurt by that this whole week, and I couldn't get over it. And he said a few other things that were like, he's like, obviously all these other reviews are from like friends and family, and I'm not even going to go into that because it just seemed like he was like really butthurt for some reason, like that he was like, yeah, he just didn't like us, and like I am mostly okay when I'm like, oh, that guy doesn't like me, that's fine, but for some reason this one kind of stuck with me. So that's kind of the guide of my week, and I don't want to dwell in that. I don't want to wallow in that. I don't want to let myself stew in that. But for some reason, it was hard to get over this week. So
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice.
yeah, and it's been a whole week of work, and I just got off on Friday, so that is one thing. But yeah, I was like feeling it this week. So
I was unaware of this. I think one big thing about our show is that I am not the smartest one in the room. We rely on you
we're
to
not
do
in the
that.
same room.
We rely. God, I'm by myself. I am not the smartest one in the lab, in the wherever we're at.
The video session,
the stream lab,
the stream.
And I rely on you for that, and you let me down.
I let you down.
I am mad at you.
Yeah.
For shame,
too.
Cole.
I know.
Oh,
and I look back and I'm like, I wish maybe on episode 1 we should change the description to say like, hey, if you're starting from episode 1, be prepared that like we hit our groove later, and especially accuracy wise.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't care about the accuracy, because here's the thing: you do a good job. You're like, I made a mistake. Like if I think you're a good learner, and you were humble, and like oftentimes in our favorite listeners will correct you all the time.
Yeah, and they're great.
Yeah, and you're fine.
And I'm not hurt by them.
Yeah, I'll let it go, man. Who cares?
Who cares? It was 6 months ago.
We've said this, Cole.
Here's a reason that our diehard listeners can maybe leave a review on Apple Podcasts, because we need to hear the good voices as well as the bad voices. I'm not against. I've even looked at some other whiskey podcasts, and some have bad reviews, including like the podcast, which I'm like, how would they have a bad review? Like, it's just amazing.
Some ingredients just don't go together.
Some ingredients don't just go together. You know what I'm saying? What up? No, but he always goes together. So the grease is always fit for whatever.
Over here.
Are you entry buzzing?
No,
that's
I'm
too
not.
bad.
I was we're drinking a lot of whiskey today, so I was like, I don't. And plus,
that's true.
I might have to drive somewhere afterwards. I'm making. So I'm bummed. So I am on the quest to make the best pizza, not just at home, but like the best homemade pizza.
So I'm sure you have a pizza stone.
I do have a pizza stone. This summer, I think I might try to build like a brick pizza oven.
There's videos on YouTube that are amazing, where people like build these dome ones and stuff.
Yeah, but that's my one thing I'm missing, is a good pizza oven. But the pizza itself, I am missing a really great crust. And so I'm trying a new thing last night where it's just like a no need 18-hour rising, and I don't have any mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, my son. I was so disappointed, because Amara's like, I'll shred the cheese while you're on the podcast. And so went to go get it, and I was like, don't have any. So
do you buy it in like fresh mozzarella, like balls?
No. No. So if you make like you do like Neapolitan, you want to do that.
Which is the only pizza in my book, or at least like the best by far. Yeah.
Okay, no, you're wrong. No, the best is low. What is it? Low moisture. So just get like a low moisture mozzarella, similar to like what a cheese stick is made out of, string cheese. So that's what I use, and I make my own sauce. And
out of like what? So what's your base of the sauce? Do you start with like tomatoes?
A can of whole San Marzanos.
Oh, San Marzano. Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's almost as good as like actually having like tomatoes.
Well, my tomatoes did not work this summer. It was too hot in Boise for them ever to ripen. So I just had green tomatoes all summer long. Yeah.
Did I tell you I planted on a side note, I planted peppers and tomatoes in my right now they're growing in my closet with a grow light. But I'm excited. And I actually did not only peppers but tomatoes this year.
Nice.
So I had some beef steakies and some like plum style, San Marzano style ones as well. So
nice.
Yeah. But go on, Robby.
No, that's about it. So yeah. Not entry buzzing. Oh no, it's been pretty good. It's been an okay week. I don't know, nothing too special. We went up to Chelsea's, our friends. Oh, we already recorded. We already talked about this. We recorded after we came back, didn't we? Did we record Sunday?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
No, we didn't. We recorded midweek. Yeah. And like a Tuesday or something. So
that's right. We recorded because we did Pendleton. Blah. And so yeah, we went and celebrated Amara's birthday at our friend's cabin. Had a lot of fun. Went to the hot springs. And
was Amara just loving her birthday? Big 12. Yeah. 12 is a big deal.
It is. Well, she's gonna be. I mean, it's hard to say. She's like still like 13's like, yeah, you're not a little kid. She's not a kid anymore already. She pretty much is. So hold on to that. So the funny thing is we celebrated Friday night with Chelsea's family. Then we went to the cabin on Saturday. Nice. And then on Sunday, my mom came over, which was Mara's actual birthday, and we celebrated her. So Sunday morning, I go, Finley, do you know what day it is? And she goes, what? And I go, it's Mara's birthday. And she goes, again? Like with just complete disdain of like, we're celebrating her too much. So.
Yeah, like why don't I get 3 birthdays?
So Cole, I got bad news. We gave Mara her birthday gift. We told her about it. And it's like the whole everyone's birthday gift. It's a trip to Mexico. Which means we're not going to be coming out to Virginia this year.
No. Oh, that's too bad. What part of Mexico?
We're going to go to an all-inclusive in Cancun. So
nice.
Yeah. So it'll be nice, and we're excited.
Just shoot my brains out over here.
Jeez. Well,
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, and you'll get a review from that same guy. He didn't even really shoot his brains out.
Yeah, exactly. So inaccurate. Every episode is inaccurate.
No. Anyway, how are you doing besides being, tired and
depressed that you're not visiting me? But it's okay.
You got your work clothes on still.
I do. Yeah. So today I was planning on getting home. I started recording at 5:30ish. But I was planning on getting home at 4:45, but there was the worst traffic I've ever seen coming home from my new job. It took me an hour to get home when normally it's like 28 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got home, prepped the, studio basically, and grabbed an entry buzz and started up basically. Luckily, I didn't need to write the history this week. Bespoken Spirits answered a lot of our questions, so I'm just going to read through a lot of them today, but it's actually really good answers, better than probably any answers we've got in terms of text.
Do you know why they were such good answers?
Why is that?
Because you asked such good questions.
Yes. I have good questions, everyone.
I pride myself on having a friend who asks the best questions.
You're like, well, worst case scenario, Cole, my good friend, asks great questions. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, I didn't have to prepare much, which was great. And then I have my whole setup in front of me. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep the energy up. Let's think. Otherwise, I got a bonus. So that bonus paid out this week that I was talking about. So that's always good news. And yeah, just figuring out. My parents are visiting in a few weeks.
Bad news. No, actually, they're actually coming to Cancun with us.
Everyone's skipping Virginia and going to Cancun. Dude, I would actually be mad if that were the case. I'd be like, all right, that's it. Robby. No.
Jetson.
Yeah. But yeah, what are we at? We're at like, yeah, we're doing good on time.
But
let's everyone knows how I feel right now, and I feel like everyone knows how you feel right now. Like you don't like coal. No, I'm kidding. So let's end a little bit early this week. We are drinking 2 separate pours today, so we want to keep it a little short. So we'll send it to break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Bespoken Spirits and the pours we're drinking today. So we'll be right back. And we're back. And thanks for those who are viewing us on YouTube. We're starting to. I feel like our podcast presence is still strong, but I'm hoping some people will switch over to the YouTube presence. And but like keep doing what you're doing. Do whatever you want, listeners / viewers. We're okay. We'll build ourselves up on YouTube as well. And we don't get like too many views yet, but like we've been doing 190 plus episodes just podcasts. So, or at least
here's the thing. I don't think visually we're much to look at. Not just like that's not.
So just you don't think I'm beautiful?
No, I'm just saying like the show itself is like, hey, it's just a couple talking heads. So
yeah, but I feel like there's some animation to it all. Remember to be animated.
I did a crazy Zoom when we were back, and everybody's probably like losing their minds.
They're like, wow. Zoom into Robby's face. All right, so this is our first episode regarding Bespoken Spirits. And so Bespoken reached out to us, and we're grateful to take their whiskey and review their whiskey. And they sent us 2 samples, not 2 samples, like 2 half bottles. So we got their Bespoken Spirits straight bourbon, which is at least 2 years. And I'm trying to see. Yeah, 24 months at least, as they say, which makes a straight bourbon. And then they also sent us a rye that was aged quite a bit less. The crazy thing is the rye is pretty dark. And so we'll go into that a little bit. The rye is only 3 months old at the minimum. But we'll go into a little bit of why they're a little darker than you would expect for a 3-month rye. But anyway, so I reached out to. Go ahead.
Let's drink as we do this. Should we crack into one of these as we're talking here?
I mean, I don't know how I'll do that while I'm reading the history.
Well, I'm gonna start.
Okay, you do it.
Because I didn't have my entry buzz, so I'm gonna.
What do you? Well, start with the rye first. Let's do that.
The rye.
First.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rye not.
Hopefully it doesn't go awry. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I reached out and asked some good questions to Bespoken Spirits, and they answered some good answers. So here are the good questions and the good answers. So I'm going to read this from my phone because they emailed it to us. So I reached out to Caitlin, who is I believe in the marketing side of Bespoken. And I asked her what inspired Bespoken Spirits to even exist. And she said, founders Stu Aaron and Martin Janosek have been friends for the last 15 years. They first met at a clean tech company called Bloom Energy. Martin is a material scientist by training, a foodie and fine beverage aficionado by passion. Stu, on the other hand, is a serial entrepreneur and has more of a everyman's palate. But they both love good whiskey. In 2017, Martin was part of a wine and whiskey club and got to talking with his friends, wondering why they had to wait years for a quality spirit to come along and what science could possibly explain why a 15-year-old whiskey was worth so much more than a 12-year-old whiskey. He didn't understand why it had to be that way. So, like any good scientist, he started reading and tinkering and inventing. It was in his garage that he created the proprietary technology that would soon become the core of Bespoken Spirits. Along the way, he mentioned the idea to Stu, who fell in love with him. They started the company in
Wait, did you say fell in
2018.
love with it or him?
Fell in love with it.
Okay. That
Yeah.
changes the story quite a bit.
No, you never know. I mean, I'm not against that. You know,
I know, it's
you do
fine.
you, Stu and Martin. They started the company in 2018 with the mission to take craft and creativity and flavor experiences to new heights while lowering the environmental footprint through precision craft maturation. Next question I asked, what's the goal of the product? Is that goal going to change over time? By using craft maturation, Bespoken achieves its goal of elevating a spirit's flavor profile by pinpointing the specific flavors customers want and offering a variety of bespoke expressions that are perfect for both the whiskey enthusiasts and the whiskey curious. I like that answer. So I'm curious about this maturation. And the next question I asked, I see they are sourced / distilled from Indiana. Do you have any comments on that? And they said, as Bespoken Spirits' sole focus is craft maturation, the team sources starting spirits from the industry's best suppliers. MHP is one, but they also source from others. For example, their rum was distilled at a craft distiller in Southern California. So they also do other spirits besides whiskey. And the next good question I asked was, what is something that makes Bespoken Spirits unique? And they gave a 2-part answer. They said, Bespoken is different from anything you've seen or tasted, thanks to a refined yet creative approach, one that aligns purpose with passion amongst the company's founders and sourcing partners. The team works from the ground up, thanks to a proprietary process that allows them to pinpoint specific flavor profiles they want first, versus the other way around. What Bespoken calls craft maturation allows a hand-selected cultivar of bespoke flavors to erupt within each bottle while using less wood, water, and energy than any whiskey ever has before. Whisker ever has before. Second answer is sustainability is at the forefront of what Bespoken Spirits does, thanks to a proprietary system that uses less than 3% of the wood, 1% of the energy, and a fraction of the water required by traditional barrel aging. Simply put, the team doesn't use barrels in the traditional way, and because of that, they also don't lose 20% of the product to evaporation, a crazy industry standard that's been accepted amongst competitors thanks to a process that hasn't been innovated until now.
Whoa!
This emphasis on taste, product, and value is a better whiskey for you and the planet. I like that. We'll see how it tastes.
Yeah.
And we would like to be objective, but also nice, but objective.
It stinks.
The 5th question that I so goodly asked was, what is something you guys are proud of that you guys are proud of about the products? They said Bespoken has won 74 medals in just 2 years of eligibility, including double gold medals and category winners at the 2020 San Francisco World Spirits Competition, New York World and Wine Spirits Competition, World Whiskey Awards, and others. Winning independent blind tastings proves that Bespoken's Spirits' innovative model for precisely tailoring the aroma, color, and taste of a spirit works. To have validation like category winner from the World Whiskies Awards shows that distillers can mature premium spirits in a matter of days, not years. So that's a bold statement that they age in a matter of days. And I asked any upcoming special projects. They said the company is excited to announce a few more award-winning spirits they plan to add to their roster in the future, but can't share any more details than that. Ooh. And then my last question, which they had a few answers, I asked, any unique details on the rye or straight bourbon would be super appreciated. Not a question, but it's still a good demand.
Not a question. So, you're the best demander.
So I'm actually gonna.
If you were a girl, your name would be Demanda.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'm gonna digress for a moment.
No,
My
whoa,
sister.
whoa. He doesn't like digressions.
That's right. Yeah, we gotta please Steve.
Stick to the facts, Jack.
Yeah. Stick to the facts every day. My sister's name is Amanda, and she changed her name on like social media to Demanda. Literally, like actually, like you just said. And she changed her name to Demanda. And I asked her why, and she said so that when she applies for jobs, I shouldn't laugh so hard. When she applies for jobs, that they won't find her on social media and then judge her and not give her the job.
Gotcha.
So I love you, Amanda. Happy birthday. We're recording the day before your 33rd birthday. So shout out to Amanda Sebald, or should I say Demanda Sebald. So they gave some rye tasting notes, and I don't know if I'm going to dig into it too much. I'm going to skip the tasting notes, but I'm going to get into the details. So they said the rye is a Swiss Army knife of American whiskey, ideal for industrious bourbon drinkers looking to venture into a new category. Balanced and interesting, with a robust char oak frame bolted to a spice rye chassis. I like that. Category winner at the 2021 World Whiskey Awards and the 2021 New York World Wine and Spirits Competition, double gold winner. Bespoken Rye resonates with the finest palates in premium whiskey. Alcohol by volume is 50%, 100 proof. Mash bill is 95% rye, 5% malted barley, which matches MGP. I'm going to skip their tasting notes that they gave and go on to the bourbon. They said Bespoken Straight Bourbon is the newest expression in our award-winning collection, aged in new charred American oak for 2 years in the heartland of American whiskey. Our straight bourbon marries the best of heritage and craft maturation. The most discerning palates in spirits agree. Bespoken Straight Bourbon took home double gold at the 2021 San Francisco World Spirits Competition, an honor awarded to entries that receive gold medal by all judging panel members. We've talked about San Francisco World Spirits Competition, but I won't remind our listeners of what we decided on that for now. The alcohol content is 94 proof, and the mash bill is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Let's drink this, shall we?
Okay,
shout out to Joshua Weissman, who is on YouTube, who always says, "Let's do this, shall we?"
He's the one that cooks and talks.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give a cork pop, and today is one of the only days we could ever do a double cork pop. So close your cork. We're gonna do a double cork pop.
That's what my mom used to always tell me. Close your cork.
Close your cork, boy. All right, 1, 2.
No,
1, 2.
No, go on.
3.
Trois.
Trois. Deux. Trois. Ooh, yours is good. Ooh, interesting nose.
Okay.
Oh, wrong.
The first notes I got off the nose were proprietary and maturation.
Super proprietary.
Yeah.
I got to pour
I get a lot of, it's really spicy for sure. But pepper, like it's peppery,
really,
and appley. It's like when you were a little kid and you used to take apple slices and dip them into a can of
pepper,
bowl of pepper, and it would just
like coarse ground pepper too.
Yes, yeah, and then crunch on it, like apples crunchy, pepper, yeah,
it's basically
apple pepper,
the old pepper apple.
So
Pepper Ann.
You
ever see that show?
Sounds familiar.
It was probably way before your time, or way after your time, because you're 41.
That's why I'm not coming to Virginia. Old cracks like that.
This is okay. Good notes. A little bit of fruity.
You're not getting apple at all?
I'm getting a little bit of apple.
Okay.
But I'm getting a little bit of plastic. Interesting. But it's not like overwhelming, and it's not a turnoff. It's just one note.
I'll tell Heather that.
Yeah. She's like, you're like, keep the plastic away from Cole. It's a turnoff.
It's a bit of a turnoff.
Yeah. There's like sharp raspberry notes a little bit. not your average berry notes, but like a sharp, almost sour.
The average berries
sour,
taste like average berry.
And the schnozberries taste like snozberries. These kind of smell like snozberries.
Speaking of schnoz, my good friend Chris Kelpin randomly was like, "Hey, speaking of podcasts, show me that nose hair plucker you were talking about." So,
spreading the word.
Spreading the word. Spreading the... And after you pluck, you take the hairs out and you spread
them across the country.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the palate? Because I'll tell my side before we get it. Actually, so this actually, for 3 months, has notes of that candy I'm looking for in a rye.
Okay.
It's not overpowered by candy notes, but that's one thing I can give it is like, hey, I've never had a 3-month-old rye that actually brought candy notes. So it doesn't taste 3 months. It doesn't taste 12 years. But somewhere in the middle of that. So that's the good news, is that the age and the maturation, as they mentioned many times,
from the proprietary
proprietary maturation, does bring out something of a nice sweetness, a nice hard candiness, which I love in a rye. But yeah, what do you think?
I'm not digging it too much. I get pepper, a mint, and usually I like mint, but then there's also this bitterness that I'm getting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not super sweet. I mean, it's not really even sweet to me. And I'm not huge on sweet, but I do want it to have some sweetness to it. So, Are you getting any bitterness in it?
I'm not getting bitterness, but I am getting... Yeah. It's interesting because normally I would say, like, if I have a 3-month-old rye, I'd be like, this actually tastes young, which isn't always a good thing. In fact, most of the time it isn't. This doesn't exactly taste young. It just has something else to it. And I can't put my finger on it yet. But I'm with you on a little bit of peppery. Let me taste this again. There's a little bit of plasticiness. But it's actually like drinkable.
No, I mean, I could see.
I don't like, most people might be listening and be like Cole hates it. No, I don't. It's just different. It's very different.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. Sounded like one of your daughters.
I am. I'm not digging it yet, but
I'm very curious though about the bourbon.
I am. Well, of course. Got water here.
Should you say corns?
Huh?
Bourbon, corn, instead of course.
Okay.
Sure.
It was a 2-step process to get there, but I'm with you now.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm working on my dad jokes.
When you're 41, you've got them in the bag. All right. I like this. I'm getting a little bit of sweetness with this now. I like it a little better with the water. Still slight bitterness. More of like a berry kind of a sweetness to it. Minty, that mint is still there, not as pronounced though.
Yeah, I'm with you on the mint. It's not anywhere near what we were getting from like the only, like, it was only about 2 years was the rye from what's the name of it?
Broken Barrel?
No, the one in Wisconsin, in Baraboo.
Baraboo.
I forget. Oh, Driftless Glen. Not even close to what Driftless Glen can bring in terms of that candy and minty and like cedary. It's good. I mean, it's... I don't like... I prefer this to what we drank last week.
Absolutely.
I know you would, yeah.
This is not getting a sub 2 for me. So, all right, I'll drop dice. We got to move a little. Remember, we got 2. Yeah. We got to move a little more quickly here, Cole.
That's true.
Give it the program.
Cube. Hey, bus driver.
Drop that cube.
Ooh, good nose. A little more sweet, a little more candy.
Sweetness on there.
Yeah.
But faint for me.
You know, it's interesting. You rarely drink a 3-month rye. And normally when I drink a 3-month rye, I'm like, blah. I don't think that about this. I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
I think my cube might be too big, but I'm not getting any of that bitterness now. But I'm not really getting a lot to stand out. So
yeah, on the palate, it kind of brings out some of that youth on the palate. To be honest, things that I don't love, like kind of the oakiness is interesting and almost like a small barrel taste, which I didn't get from the first. I didn't strongly get from the first 2 sips or the first 2 pours.
Yeah.
I don't like it with ice too much. I'd say the best is right between neat and water.
Yeah, I thought water was the best to moi. Man, my French
There's a
is
little bit of a
coming out like
soapiness,
crazy.
which I've talked about in the past with what I get from small barrels.
All right.
Should we rate it or should we move on to the bourbon and then rate it later?
Let's rate it and then move quick. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Efficiency. We're going to cork pop.
Yep.
Rate, then move.
Move.
Cork pop, rate, move.
All right, ready for the cork pop?
Un,
deux, trois. Is this the first time you've opened it?
Well, no, I opened it a little bit ago.
Oh, gotcha. Much better nose on the bourbon.
Then you were like double cork pops. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. Double cork pops.
All the way. It means something.
Okay, so rate the rye.
Shout out to those who understood what we were just saying.
Chocolate. How did chocolate rain go? Chocolate rain.
Say it loud and they'll call you insane. Chocolate rain. So nice. Good.
Want to touch the hiney. So rye.
Ooh.
Well, hold on. Yeah.
Very different nose.
Got to rate the rye
different whiskey.
So rye rating. I'm not a huge fan of. Like honestly, I don't think I would pick up the bottle. It is interesting. I think it'd be kind of fun. It's a fun thing to have and be like, because it is for what it's aged. It's definitely better than what you find other places.
Totally for a 3-month at least. Yeah.
If you like pepper, it's gonna be your rye. It's got a good spiciness to it.
I guess I didn't get the prices on these, but let's assume they're really cheap and really ready to just buy.
If they were cheap and readily available, I think you could keep a bottle on the shelf.
Yeah.
Especially like if you like mint and rye, or not mint and pepper.
And let's just say these half bottles are worth $20. If you like the lowest priced, somewhat candy note on a rye, this is your rye.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 6.4 though.
I'm gonna give it a 7.2. Go ahead. Yeah.
I would drink it, but it's not. I'm not gonna look for it probably.
Yeah. But I am intrigued by the nose on the bourbon.
Yes.
Caramely in a very interesting way. Like I mentioned last week, the like Starbucks caramel syrup you could add to your coffee. This is sort of along those lines a little bit, but like in a more balanced way, I guess.
It's definitely, I can see that. It's like a soft caramel. Really, it's interesting. Like a butterscotchy caramel almost too. Like almost butterscotch on the nose.
There's a smokiness to this. It's interesting. And I'm super curious what their proprietary maturation process is. If I were to create a proprietary maturation process that like speed ages whiskey.
Oh, please wash your hands before you do. You just picked your nose. Go! No, rim doesn't count. Unless you're
it doesn't count. That's the rule on this podcast. Rim doesn't count. But you know how like we smoke meat with pellets?
We're smoking meats.
Smoking them meats. Smoking these meats. Raised. Yeah. Smoking meats like a brisket. Anyway, many YouTube allusions today. If I were to speed age, I would use pellets and like charred pellets. That's what I would do. And like swirl it all around and stuff like that.
Owl pellets.
But I don't think I would do that. Or rabbit pellets. Who knows? There is a smokiness to this, though, similar to smoked pellets.
I get a real nice mouthfeel on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to describe it apparently because I got to go for another sip to figure it out.
Interesting second. So it's interesting because the second sip was very much different and not as pleasant. Yeah, I got a lot of smoky notes on the first one, but on the second one, I got kind of a bitterness.
I get a little bitterness. I can see the smoke. Sweetness is a little lacking though. I don't know.
That's true. It is a little more savory than sweet on this one.
Oh, good call. Yes.
There is it's interesting. Like there are caramely notes. There are smoky notes. There are bourbon notes. I mean, it's definitely bourbon, in my opinion.
There is,
but it's buttery a little bit too.
Yeah, a nose. I like the nose a lot. Butterscotchy, caramely, delicious. A little bit of the smoke is. I don't know if it's just because I drank some of it, but the smoke is coming out on the nose with the water here to me, and it's like the butterscotch is intensified. I like that. This has a really good nose. I do like the nose on this a lot.
The finish had butterscotch, and I think the finish was actually the best part. With the water was so far the best part. Was a little bit of butterscotchy on the end.
Water kind of killed the awesome mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Smoky. It's a little bit smoky. I think if you a little razzle dazzle over there.
Yeah. Putting on the Ritz, you know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? Finley likes peanut butter lollipop. So you just take a spoon, put it in the peanut butter with a Ritz cracker stuck to it. You got to put on that Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I hope I can share that with my daughter. Hashtag girl dad.
Hashtag putting on the Ritz. New favorite snack. I'm going to start calling it that.
You should.
Finley, you want to put on the Ritz?
You're like, da, 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 putting on the Ritz.
Now I got to go to the bathroom. Taking me
putting on. And that's why we're rated explicit.
That was probably
because there are reference to a potentially not even offensive, but potentially explicit word.
No, I was gonna say schwitz. I was sweating. I had to go to the bathroom and dab myself off. Yeah,
silly me, putting on the schwitz.
Yep.
That's great.
What is going on? I think my favorite comment we had this week was from Miles. He's like, "Worst episode ever." Yeah, you know when you're talking about Miles Ferguson's depression music,
it's like the best part of the episode. Yeah. All right. He shared with us the actual. It was Ours was the band name, and I forget what the actual song name was.
I like that last drink I had. Water gave it a little time, did a bit nice spin J, little matte job on it, little swirly poo, and it actually
I'm with you.
It was getting a little more corn on it.
Best pour,
sweeter. So if you get this, spin the crud out of it.
Yeah, take that ice. Tell your bus driver to throw that ice in there. To drop that ice in there. Ooh, Robby. Here we go. Oh, he dropped it right in.
Right in.
In that Glencairn, or not that Glencairn, that Waterford glass.
Waterford, hit us up. We'd love to drink from more of your glasses.
They're either Irish or English. Or British,
I think English.
I want to say they might be Irish.
Also, Waterford, you're in Great Britain. If you know the guys at British Knights Shoes, take a sponsorship.
Yeah. We need more sponsorships. If you own a business and you want it repped on our podcast, hit us up.
We rep the crap out of lots of things that we're not sponsored by.
Yeah. Bush's Baked Beans, Solo Stoves, Camp Chef, and that weird back thing you were talking about.
chirp wheel, and I can't remember the name of the thing, but the nose hair plucker.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure. I got to. Yeah. Go buy one of each thing from there and tell them Chill Filtered sent you.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be like, why am I hearing so much for Chill Filter? We should pay those guys. Especially Bush's baked beans. Gosh. We basically bring in half their profit. So
I would think so.
Yeah.
I know every time I mention it on the podcast, I go out and buy 2 cans.
Yeah. Well, 4 for me.
This is not the same can I keep at the desk all the time. This is a new can every week.
He's eating a can after every episode, if not more than that. So, and then he'll buy another one. Yeah. Shout out to Bush's baked beans.
We drink neat, we drink water, we drink iced, and then I have my Bush's baked bean chaser. What?
I'm just thinking of adding a 4th pour. How does it taste with Bush's baked beans in it?
A little bean teeny.
Yeah, like 4 beans dropped in,
Get yourself a little bean dropper. Bloop, bloop.
Oh, that just changed my whole week.
I think I want to turn into Johnny Beanie Seed, and I'm just going to go around, walk across the country, just throwing Bush's baked beans around.
And not like plantable beans. Bush's baked beans.
Bush's, yeah. Gosh.
Spreading the word. I hope that Jay, or whatever his name is, Jay Bush or whatever. I don't know. What's the dog's name again? Duke. I hope Duke at least hears what we're saying and sponsors us.
Remember?
Oh.
I hope Duke comes back from the dead and haunts the factory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then tells everyone, hey, Chill Filtered's bringing you in business, like half your business. So when Duke died, we took over. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of golden retrievers, what is your rating, Robby, on the bourbon?
I like the bourbon more for sure. Assuming this is, fairly well priced, I think I would get a bottle. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay, that's pretty close to my rating.
I like it. I wouldn't mind having a bottle on the shelf. I think one of the cool things though is it's a good talking point too. Like they're doing something different,
something proprietary maturation. So,
so I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it
myself a 7.4, which I had in mind before you said that. I think it is better than a rye. An extra 18 months or extra 21 months might add a little something. It's got something good going on. The butterscotch is pleasant. I don't know the price. I wish I did, but I'm not going to make up something and say that, an inaccuracy and saying, well, the price is $15. And then Steve comes around and he's like, hey, it's not $15. It's $15.99. And then I hurt in the inside. And so 7.4, I don't know the price, but I do think this is worth trying. Yeah.
So Total Wine it's a different label. It's a blue label, but Bespoken Spirits bourbon whiskey is
it a 375?
It's 375 and it's 32.
For the bourbon?
For a bourbon. It's not the bourbon we're drinking.
It might be. Is it straight?
I don't care.
Who cares?
I mean, what you do in your own, the privacy of your own bedroom is not my business.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, we will send it to Whiskey World News.
And we're back. What's going on, guys? It's part of the show where we read an article, we talk about it. We call it Whiskey World News. Nice. Was that animated enough?
Super animated.
Oh my goodness. All right. You didn't do any zoomy tricks.
Oh, I should next time.
Whiskey World News. All right. This one comes from ABC News. And It was written
Ooh,
by
ABC.
Bruce Schreiner. This was all over the internet about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, was it the fire or the explosive at Buffalo Trace?
Did that happen again?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, look at that zoomy effect. No.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, I didn't see that. But it's report American whiskey exports starting to rebound.
Gotcha.
American whiskey exports, battered by tariffs and COVID-19 pandemic, started rebounding in 2021, but still have a more ground to make up to fully recover, an industry group said. Exports of bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, and rye whiskey reached 975 million in 2021, up 15% from the prior year. According to a report issued by Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, last year's total was still down 18% from the record high exports about 1.2 billion in 2018. American whiskey distillers caught up in a transatlantic trade fight, causing deep drops in exports to European Union, the industry's biggest overseas market. The EU imposed a retaliatory tariff on those spirits in mid-2018. In response to then President Donald Trump's decision to slap tariffs on European steel and aluminum, a deal was reached in 2021 to suspend those tariffs on American spirits. U.S. spirits exports are beginning to bounce back, and that's definitely a positive sign. But the value of 2021 exports remains far below levels achieved before the 2018 retaliatory tariffs kicked in, Rob Marin, the Council Vice President of International Trade, said. But as American whiskey producers work to regrow EU market share, the sector still faces a retaliatory tariff in another key market, the United Kingdom, which continues to curtail growth. And I'll go ahead and stop there. But Cole, any thoughts?
Yeah. Part of me is like a little sad.
Part of you is very grainy. You mess with your camera.
Oh, really?
Just came back. Oh, now you're back.
Cool.
Okay.
Part of me is really grainy that part of me is like bummed out that we are exporting more because like I want to keep all the bourbon in the US.
Yeah.
But I also want to share the wealth, share good things with the world. I'm a nice guy and I ask good questions. And my good question is, why can't the world have good whiskey too? When I went to
good
Paris
American
recently,
whiskey too.
Right before COVID, I went to Paris. Right before
Sweet Paris,
you took over as co-host.
Mm-hmm.
And there were actually quite a bit of American
Buffalo
whiskey.
Trace Experiment bottle 116.
No, 16.
Bottle 16.
115 was what John sent us, which was like almost as good. That was good.
Great
bottle,
in a different
man.
way. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like, I'm down to make it a worldwide thing, and I'm not in charge of that. Donald Trump made a lot of decisions on that, and retaliatory things happened from that, which shows a lot about retaliatory tariffs are interesting. It shows a lot about what's going on.
It's kind of like, I'm taking my ball home. Yeah? Well, you know what?
You don't get a ball next time you come here. Retaliatory tariffs. Am I right?
It's, oh my goodness. Yeah.
I feel like that's like, we're in the middle of a Ukraine John right now. And and I guess that let me back up. John with the highest respect for what's going on, at least in the Ukraine, not with respect to what's going on the Russian side. Retaliatory things are interesting. Shows a lot about what people think about people. Totally. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I'm a similar thought. It was just kind of like, I want to keep the good stuff. I actually not similar, opposite. I want to keep the good stuff here because I was thinking today. Like, I don't really even enjoy whiskey hunting anymore. Like, I just don't.
Hard, man.
Because it's just I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't know. At the point I am in life with small children.
Yep.
It's not always easy just to leave the house and go hit up a couple shops and. So I don't know. And then it's like, I don't know the way.
Keep the whiskey in the whiskey.
Yeah, that's
keep the whiskey where it started. No, I'm kidding. That's a inaccuracy. Whiskey didn't start in the U.S.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Whoops! I just boinged the door stopper.
Nice.
So anyway, that's kind of my thing. Is I'm fine either way, but good. I mean, people, go America, make money.
And with that, we'll switch it over to what whiskey would you choose? Can you give the results from last week, Robby?
I can, but you got to give me a second here, man.
Let's give him a second. Let's talk about the color of this whiskey for a second. It's darker than I would expect for a. Terracotta's a good note.
Well, remember that was that one. Note. I can't remember what we were talking. It was one of our articles where they kept referring to it as a beautiful terracotta, and I've never. All right. Anyway, last week we talked about what whiskey will you never buy again, and coincidentally, I went with a whiskey that we were drinking that day, which is, in my opinion, one of the worst. I do not like it. With Pendleton.
Who won?
And Cole got.
Not many people have had third edition of.
Well, no, you didn't win. You didn't win. You lost. You got to let me explain. There's a process here, buddy. Lot 40 cask strength edition 3, and I won because more people had Pendleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that being said, if I saw a bottle of Lot 40 cask, that bottle, I would probably buy it just because I'm like, it was good. It wasn't Hubbard or what, but it was still good. Pendleton, I don't know. No, I'm not going to get it.
Probably better than Pendleton.
It absolutely is. All right. Some write-ins. Whiskey Workshop said Pikesville Rye. Never had it.
Pikesville is actually, I like Pikesville.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, it's a honey on the rye.
And then
that was the sound of making money.
Cole just sold another macaroni necklace.
Yeah, exactly.
5.0 Fat Boy.
Jerome
Edwards said, I'm from Chicago, and we have this stuff called Malort. Vomit emoji.
Nice.
You ever had Malort?
No, never had it.
No. Nathan Anthony went with Few Rye. Never been happy to pour something down the drain. And
yo, Nathan, you understand so far about my opinion on Few. Although the bourbon was worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree. So I'm with him there. All of that being said, I won't ever pour a whiskey down the drain. Like, I'll pour it into a 2.
Pour it up your butt.
Explicit rating.
Yeah. There we go. We really earned it.
Then I'll have to schwitz it out and get all the sweat off me. That's fine. Madtown Marketer said Larceny. Now my first experience with Larceny, I did not like it, but it was early in my whiskey journey. I think I would like it now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd have to try it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Basic Larceny.
Yeah. Brian Rapp, Isaac Bowman, port finished.
So I respect Brian Rapp, but I love their port finish. I think it is fantastic from A. Smith Bowman. Yeah. And I'm not even just saying that. Like,
that's one of those things that's like, I think we probably should do like what whiskey would you choose at some point of like, what is your favorite or least favorite finished whiskey?
Or better yet, what is a whiskey that you like that is not liked by a lot of other people?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And then Marco and KC went with Red Stag. So
yeah,
that's for our writers. Yeah. What do you got for us this week, Cole? What's this week's? What whiskey would you choose?
What I got. All right, here we go.
Loving.
So we have mentioned many a time on this podcast that certain pours might be the best with ice. And so one of them might be like Redbreast Cask Strength 12-year. Great pour with ice. I mean, it is insanely refreshing. What is, and maybe some of our listeners don't like pouring or putting ice in their whiskey, but maybe it's worth trying. But for those who have tried with some ice, what is one of your favorite pours that is best with ice? So, Robby, what do you think?
I want you to go first on this.
Okay, I'll go first.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. It's a retaliatory response. It's
a retaliatory tariff. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Redbreast 12 Cask Strength.
Oh,
it's just refreshing and it's delicious and it's better with ice. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go a little alternate route here because obviously Yamazaki 17.
Oh, 18.
I always do that. I was even trying not to do it. I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna say Okay.
Do it right, Robby.
Is phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
But it's an obvious answer. So I'm going to go a little less obvious on this one. And
well,
I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more to it.
Okay.
I'm going to go Doers on ice with a little bit of club soda.
Ooh.
I added a little bit. But
Doers? I barely know hers.
Barely knewers.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom and do manures. Now I'm pooping in the bathroom. So yeah, I think that's what I mentioned before, like going to the movie, like the alcoholic movie theater. Yeah. I like to get a couple of those. They last a long time.
I think you're about to say cheap. I like to get wasted. Alcoholic movie theater.
That's me. That. Yep. They come around. They got to sweep up all the popcorn and throw me over their shoulder and take me to the drunk tank. Yeah.
So if you are on Instagram this week, please hit us up with what's your favorite your favorite iced pour. And we're interested in what you would choose between us, but also what you would choose personally.
Yeah. Sure.
This week, I have been tasked with what we're drinking next week. And it is simple. It is great. And we're going to be choosing between 2 Indian whiskeys. So we have 2 Indian whiskeys on deck to run against each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's March. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. We're drinking Indian.
Oh crap! No, we still got time before St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna do an Irish the week after.
Yeah.
But let's put it between Amroot Fusion, which is 100 proof. And then we're going to put that between Paul John Peated, which is 55%, 110 proof. So we'll keep an eye out on Instagram this week. We're going to put between those 2. And we're interested to see what you will pick. It's an Indian whiskey. Either way, India is actually really killing it in the single malt scene.
We're talking geography.
No, yeah. India is a country in the south of Asia. And that's that. So Robby, go ahead. Yeah. Robby, I hope you know what continents are continents this week.
And Cole, I hope you're not incontinent and you have continents.
Oh, I hope I'm continent, all right. But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of spirits lifted yours.